Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Listen In with KNN, presented by Fox Sports Radio. So excited to have you all here today. I have a very special show in store. Apologies for the late start, as I know we were going to get started just a little bit earlier, but my next guest, like he used to make plays on the football field, we made a play and made this show happen. So without further ado, I will soon be bringing in two-time Super Bowl champion with the New York Giants, and now he's working with 25 Sports Recruiting Service. He is none other than Mark Collins Sr. So I'm going to bring Mark to the show. Mark, how are you?
Yes, what's up? How are you?
I'm fabulous.
I'm trying to figure this thing out. I'm on my phone.
It's no problem. We made it work, Mark. I'm fantastic. I was just bragging about you. I said, just like you used to make plays on the football field, we made a play and made the show happen. Phone, iPad, whatever. We were going to make the show happen.
And I don't stress, but boy, it was getting a little hairy at the end. We got it.
Thank you for joining me on Listen In with KNN, presented by Fox Sports Radio. A true pleasure to have you. I know a lot of Giants fans, so they're pretty excited to see you, Mark. So we're going to talk a lot of football, talk about your son's fantastic football career, and a lot more. But before we get started, I have to ask you, how are you holding up with COVID-19?
You know, I'm doing well because I don't do much anyway as far as really getting out. I do miss my golf.
Okay.
I must admit, I do miss taking my little daughter to school and telling stories, and she's making me laugh. But I'm all right. I tell everybody, man, listen, just stay safe, be smart, and we'll get through this.
We will all get through it together. And where are you? I see sun behind you and everything. It's rainy and gloomy here in the DMV.
I'm in Southern California.
Oh, I'm jealous.
I'm in Southern California, right near Huntington Beach, and I'll be here for another few weeks. But the weather's good. People are good out here. I'm good. It's nice.
Just the simple slight brag, Mark. It's okay. We'll take it. I would trade you any day. It's been pouring here since this morning, so I will enjoy your background. I'm in DC. It's the worst day in DC.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I'm out here. But anyway.
You win some, you lose some, right? You can't win them all. Well, Mark, I am so excited to have you here. Two-time Super Bowl champion with the New York Giants. Before we get any further, are you wearing the rings, Mark? Can we see the rings?
No, as a matter of fact, they're in my lockbox. They're stored. And,
next time.
I told me I had them ready.
I should have thought about it. But see, I figured you were one of the guys that wore them all the time to brag about it, so I didn't even think about it. You know what?
To be honest with you, when I was younger, yes. I'm an old man now, so I don't need the rings do not define me. But this is a podcast. But back in the day when I was chasing, then you had the rings. But now, I don't need the rings.
Chasing's over, no rings.
Yeah. So.
I love it. Well, next time, we're going to talk about you. And so for those that might not know you, you were a former student at Cal State Fullerton, a former safety and corner in the NFL. And get this, he played for the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs fans, I know you all are happy. The Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks. And then, of course, I mentioned the Giants, which is where you won 2 rings. So talk more just about how you got into football and kind of what led you to making that step in the NFL.
Well, I tell you what, Kelsey, it's a long story. See, when I was a kid, I hated football. I was a baseball guy.
Really?
So, yeah, my sister dated one of the football players in high school. And I was a freshman. And I played 1 year of, I call it weenie ball. And I Pop Warner football, junior All-American, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I played 1 year of that. And my sister was dating a football player. He was a running back named Sammy Parrish. And Sammy was a stud. He was a running back, great athlete, great student. And I said, I'm going to be like that guy. So the high school football coach was my math teacher named Tom Hoke. And Tom was my math teacher. And in my sophomore year, I told Coach Hoke, hey, after I got up the nerve to ask this man to tell him what I was going to do, I said, I'm going to be a starting running back on your football team, and I'm going to play varsity.
Yeah.
So in a very lovingly way, Coach Hoke told me, go sit down, kid, because he knew I didn't play football before. But anyway, long story short, went out there and played football my sophomore year, never played JV, played varsity.
Wow, you were just talented.
Yeah, well, I was okay. Great teammates. And with that, the Cal State Fullerton offered me a scholarship, and I had fun with it.
Yeah, the rest is history, as they like to say.
Yeah.
went on to have a fantastic career in the NFL. You played for the Giants from 1986 to 1993. And during that time, with your 8 seasons with the Giants, you played in 112 games, 104 starts. Wow. And then we just had this big event, of course, the NFL draft, something that you know just a little bit too well. April 29th, 1986, you were selected in the second round by the New York Football Giants, number 44 overall. Yeah. We just had the draft, but for those of us that will never get to experience that, and we just saw a virtual draft, which was a bit different. What's that like?
It's pretty cool. I mean, you know you won't get drafted because all the publications are out and you're on the list, so you know you're going.
Right.
It can be pretty intense. You got to be patient, but it's the best feeling knowing that somebody wants you. You're on the list, and you have an opportunity to play a game that we usually play for free, but now you're getting paid for it. It's a great opportunity, and just getting that opportunity and making the best of it, playing 13 years was fantastic for me. Yeah,
I mean, so who was around you at that moment? Who did you have in your corner?
Well, I had some of my college teammates. My mom and dad were there. My brothers and sisters were there. Some of my best friends. And we just, we enjoyed it. The Cal State Fullerton got me a hotel room at downtown Fullerton at the Holiday Inn. I got a Holiday Inn suite. And we loaded it up with beer and food, and we watched the draft.
Night? Oh, that sounds like a perfect night.
It was good.
You can't go wrong with that.
No.
And so tell me, for the guys that just had to experience this first ever virtual draft, one, did you watch it? And two, what do you think the experience was like for them? Was it the same?
It's the same. It's surreal. Once again, it's a great feeling when somebody wants you.
Yeah.
The only difference between the draft, the draft this year, the virtual draft, it's the same as what we went through in 85, 86, because the draft now, it's all about production.
Right.
You want to go. It's a big show. Back in the 80s and 70s and part of the 90s, a lot of the guys didn't go to New York. We stayed home with our families. So this was harkened back to the way it was. And I know you're a very smart lady. I know that you've done your research. This was the highest watched draft in the NFL history.
Yeah.
And why is that? Because people wanted to stay home.
Right.
People have to stay home mostly, but they have all these gadgets to watch the draft. So it's pretty great.
Yeah. Any favorite moments from the draft this year?
No favorite moments. I got a big kick out of the Arizona coach's crib. He had a nice house.
Cliff. Yeah. Cliff. We all wanted to be like Cliff.
Well, some of us still live like that, but he had a nice little setup there. It was kind of cool, and I think he was showing off a little bit.
Oh, he knew what he was doing.
Man, if he got it, flown it.
He knew the world was watching. I too also enjoyed the draft. I was better than I thought virtually. I loved Roger Goodell going from very serious in the suit to like at the end of at the last day he was like in the t-shirt sitting down like I'm over this.
And that was the first time he did the whole draft, because usually it goes to the guy number 2.
Right.
I'm a Troy Vincent, but it goes to the number 2 every second round all the way to 7. So Roger got his money's worth that day.
It was more personal, right? Like you got to literally have that. I love him still trying to give the big bear hugs on screen to the guys. Like it was just such a different look and feel. And then again, I know it wasn't what they wanted, but they still got to dress up and they had the people there that mattered. So I thought the draft overall was still very, very exciting. As you said, we were all watching it. So hope everyone was at home watching, but overall, just a really good experience. Now I want to ask you this. The draft did get some criticism on focusing, specifically ESPN, on focusing on some of the troublings or just some of the hard times that some of these guys had to get where they are. Now, I thought some of the stories, just really helped kind of personalize some of these players when you saw what they had to overcome to get there. But do you think it was too much digging into their past to tell their story during the draft?
It's funny you mentioned it, Kels, because I tell you, I at the point where I was hearing it, I was basically saying, we don't really need to know that. Let's focus on, hey, these guys, they got drafted. Let's leave it there. And that's for the beat writers in those respective cities to talk about that kind of stuff. But I kind of felt that was a little bit too much information.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to hear all of it right now. Let's just my thing was let's enjoy the good moments and let's go from there.
Right. I mean, so many good moments. We have to just go back to, I mean, there's nothing like seeing their moms jump on them or even some of the craziness we saw, right? We saw CeeDee Lamb with a quick phone snatch back. I had to bring it up.
Watch that again and watch the expression on that lady's face.
She handled it very calmly. Let me tell you, if that had been me on the other end of that, I might have handled it a bit differently. But I'm glad she didn't take away from his moment. I'm just being real. Look, I'm just being real.
I know, but
we had moms grabbing girlfriends off of their babies. Like it was
all kinds of stuff. I was going, man. See, that's when the draft got real. That stuff happens. Yes, it does.
That's
a real deal. Right.
It does. And we don't usually get to see that. And that's why I did like that virtual aspect. And again, I know there was virtually anything can happen, right? I mean, you just never know. But I thought overall, especially after watching the WNBA draft, I thought the NFL draft did very well for like the second live big draft that we had this year in this COVID-19 era.
Yeah, it was good. It was real. It seemed more personable and it's real.
Yeah. And your Giants, let's talk about them. They had their 2020 draft class. I feel like some hopes are going up over in New York. Daniel Jones, and I feel a little bit happy, I would like to think. But tell me overall, how did you think the Giants fared in this 2020 draft with their overall class?
I think with the offensive lineman they chose was a good pick. It wasn't very sexy,
right?
But it was a need, and I think the Giants feel that the roles, the people they drafted, with what they needed.
Right.
Won the sexiest draft. Got some good players in there. But the Giants need a lot of help on both sides of the ball, and they did well, and we'll see what happens. They signed a lot of undrafted free agents. I think 10. But they did pretty well, and it's still a building process. They got to build up.
Yeah, only time will tell. So tell me, with the draft class that they had, and just overall with the New York Giants, how do you think they'll fare this season if we have a football season?
Oh God, I tell you, if we have a season, I would go 8-8. Wouldn't be bad. I mean, you might go 9-7. 9-7 is not impossible. But don't forget now, a lot of teams in the NFC East have made some upgrades.
Right.
So you go 8-8, 9-7. That's a good build. But that's all you can hope for. And I hope to God we have a season because I tend to think that, and maybe I'm being a little biased when I say this. I think football, college and football, pro football, we're the engine that drives this country in sports.
Yep. And
I love baseball, I love basketball, I love some hockey, and I even like soccer.
Yeah.
But NFL and college football, we're the engine. So we got to get this thing going.
It's true. I mean, I think America, we're known for football. We live for the tailgate parties. We live to rock the jerseys. You live to go back to work on Monday and brag to your coworkers that your team won, right? You make the bets. So I completely agree. And you talked about the NFC East. I'm in D.C. I get to cover the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
How do you think they fared in the draft? Because I'll tell you, here in D.C., Mark, I think this is the most excited people have been about a Washington Redskins draft class in a while.
Well, you got a hell of a coach. I mean,
Riverboat Ron. Yes,
he was a good player with the Bears. He was a great coach with Carolina. He's a great guy. I think he'll get the best out of those players. And as far as the draft they had, they took what they needed as well.
Yeah.
But Washington's biggest problem would be the quarterback. I mean, is he the guy? And evidently, because there was talk before the draft that they were going to draft the quarterback to replace him, but they chose not to. But I can't say too much about Washington because I don't watch the Redskins very much.
Yeah.
But they got a lot of, as Ricky Ricardo would say, they got a lot of splaining to do. So they got a lot of building to do. So like everybody else in the East except Philadelphia, maybe Dallas.
Yeah. All right, so I want to stay with the Redskins before we talk Philly and Dallas. But Chase Young, of course, we're all very excited to have him come back home after his fantastic career at Ohio State University. He joins Ryan Kerrigan, Montez Sweat. I mean, so many great people, I think, for that defensive front. So tell me, do you think with the pickup of Chase Young, do you think the Washington Redskins can get a new identity this season as a defensive team?
Well, they're going to have to do that. And Ron knows that because You got a young quarterback. So you bring in Chase Young in there. He's a hell of a player. He was in college, and if he could do what Bosa did last year with San Francisco,
we're hoping
same kind of player. So he's a game changer. He's a difference that the Redskins need and it can make. So you got to start with that defense first to give the offense time to catch up to everybody else. So they're going to do some good things in Washington. Maybe not this year, just like the Giants.
Yep.
It's a building process, and that's what you got to do, and I think they're on the right path.
Trusting the process. All right, DC, we're going to have to learn how to do that. And you talked about the quarterback situation, so I'm really curious, of course, with what came out today. Andy Dalton no longer in Cincinnati, and then Cam Newton looking still pretty good on the market. We, of course, saw Jameis Winston get picked up by the Saints. But do you think Ron Rivera and the Redskins should be looking at any senior leadership like that to possibly bring to DC?
If I were Ron Rivera, I would bring Cam in immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a, because of course Ron knows him. He played for him and everything.
Right.
So he knows him very well.
Right.
He knows the system. He can teach the young quarterback how to be a professional, learn the offense, that kind of stuff. So, Andy Dalton. Hey, look, Kelsey, you know this.
Yeah.
In any sport, every player has an expiration date.
It's true.
The day you're drafted, there's an expiration date. So Andy Dalton did some great things in 8 or 9 years in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So did Cam down in Carolina. But at some point, it's time to move on and go to a younger quarterback.
And that's what it looks like. And look, it looks like Aaron Rodgers kind of also found that out during the NFL draft.
Why he get mad? Because he did the same thing was done to him that was Brett Favre. So it's just a matter of time. It's going to happen to you.
Yep. History repeating itself, right?
Some players don't understand. And I don't want to get all off the beaten path, but
no, let's do it.
This is a business.
Yeah.
It's not personal. It's business.
Right.
And the minute let me back up a bit. Every now and then, a team would invite me to speak to their rookie class, their draft class and rookies. So 3 years ago, the Kansas City Chiefs, I live in Kansas City, they invited me to speak to their rookie class about being a professional, what to expect to be about NFL.
Right.
And one of the things I told them was this. Number one, if you don't have the mindset to walk into this building and go on that field and take and compete for another man's job, this game ain't for you. Mm-hmm. Number two, this is a business. And the sooner you get that in your head, the better off you are.
Yeah.
And that's just fact. And I think some of these players get it, but some don't. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers got that part yet.
Yeah, I mean, it was a shocker, I think, for all of us. And if we're staying with quarterback, I mean, Jalen Hurts is another one, I think, that sent shocks. We can talk about Philly. But, I mean, okay, so I feel like that was the most scrutinized pick in the entire NFL draft class. Philadelphia fans were going crazy. Tell me, did you think that was the right decision for Philadelphia to draft a player like Jalen Hurts into their offensive system?
Well, I think Philly took what they needed. Mm-hmm. Let me back up on this. Though they gave Wentz $108 million with buku money guaranteed.
Yeah.
They took the best guy the best athlete on the list, and that was Jalen Hurts. The reason they took him, not to make gadget plays, but to learn the offense, and I think he's going to be trade bait 2 or 3 years down the road.
Now you make things interesting.
Yes, because if you think about it, they don't need a quarterback.
Right.
They got other needs.
Yeah.
Defensive back, another wide receiver, that kind of stuff. But they took this guy thinking 2 or 3 years down the road after his rookie contract is up.
Yep.
Trade him to somebody for a second-round pick, like New England did with Garoppolo.
All right. Yeah.
And it worked out perfectly. So I don't see Hurts doing anything this year or next year with the Eagles, but he could be instrumental in helping them build later down through the draft, through a trade.
All right, so you're not mad at the pick. You support it.
No.
I was glad too, but I had to ask you for the people because a lot of people were mad about it, but I tweeted about it. But I like it. I think you can use him in different ways. And I think that's what the Eagles are going to do. You said they have a quarterback there. They're not looking for someone immediately to put into that system. But you can be creative. Allow me, you're here in DC, I get to cover the Ravens. The Ravens were very creative with using Lamar Jackson and RG3. Sure. So you have quarterbacks with weapons like that who can just do different things and are versatile. Why not? Why not?
Right. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, look at New Orleans. The kid Hill down there.
Hill, yeah, Taysom Hill, yep.
Same thing, but there's no way in hell he's going to play.
Right.
He's not. So, and Teddy Bridgewater was down there last year, and somebody had to leave, and Bridgewater left.
Yep.
But, I just look at it as a business, on the business side, what the Eagles did. Yeah, you get him in, make some gadget plays for him. Of course, you'll do that while he's there. But that's a hell of a talented quarterback. So he becomes, trade bait further down the road for more draft picks.
And just saying with trade bait, we're going to finish the NFC East. We got to talk to Dallas Cowboys. I'm in DC, so I might get some flack for that. But the Cowboys, I think they had a very good draft class. And I think this is a team that is going to do pretty well this year. Your thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, I don't really care for Dallas that much.
Yes, understandable.
But once again, as long as you got Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott back there, you can't count them out.
Yeah.
They got the receiver they wanted. But, Dallas is going to be Dallas.
Yeah.
Which means absolutely squat, because you don't know what team you're going to get. You don't know the mindset. I mean, they got a new coach down there from Green Bay.
Yeah.
The name skips you right now. They lost the coordinator, lost a lot of people, but Dallas is going to be Dallas.
Yep.
But that team hasn't done nothing since 98, 97. I don't even remember.
I knew it was coming.
Everson Walls is a good friend of mine. So I don't see. Everson Walls is a great friend of mine.
Yes.
So me and Everson, we go back and forth. I said, Everson, all those years you're in Dallas, you didn't get a sniff of a ring. I said, you had to come to New York and get your Super Bowl ring. And we go back and forth, but great guy. But Dallas is going to be Dallas, and I don't know, but you can't count him out.
Yeah.
Especially with Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott still there. Jason Witten's gone to the Raiders.
Yep.
Which is kind of slap in the face, Yeah. Because he came out of retirement to be with Dallas, right?
Yep. That's what
run.
Yeah.
And then, he said, I'll bump this. I'm going to go to the Raiders, but kind of wild.
Crazy. And then I have a bone to pick with Dallas. Now, watching the draft, getting to see Jerry on this yacht. I didn't even know what it was at first. Like, what is all this fuss? Why can't we all be like Jerry?
Because we ain't got that kind of money out there.
My next show is going to be from a yacht. I want to just embody this Jerry Jones. It's crazy.
If you can be on a yacht, be on your yacht. What's wrong with that? I ain't mad at him at all. I wish I was out there.
Oh my gosh, we all do. We all do. All right, just really quick, I want to get your last thoughts on the NFL draft. Who would you say was your winner of the NFL draft, and who was your loser?
You know what? God, Kelsey, you ask these tough questions. I think everybody got the people they wanted. They targeted.
Oh, Mark, that's so diplomatic.
But
you can go in on a team.
Really, because you can't really grade a draft until 2 or 3 years down the road.
Fair.
Until these guys really play out. So you can't say, well, that was a bad pick. No, if it fits what you need, and then 2 or 3 years down the road, you see that draft materialize that way, then you grade it. That's how I look at it. So
that's fair.
I don't really grade drafts by picks.
That's fair. That's fair. We want to make sure you can go back to New York. So we know you got to stay nice, but we know they still love you out there.
Well, hey, listen, I got love in Kansas City too. So that's another story.
Speaking of which, my last show, I got to have Nick Lowry on. He got to give some great insight.
Oh, Nick.
I got to have Nick on. Nick was fabulous, and he continues to do great things. So I have to give him a shout out.
Yeah.
Doing a bunch in Arizona. So love it.
Real great guy.
And you talked about Kansas City. I had a chance to cover the Super Bowl this year. Wow. Patrick Mahomes. We got to talk him. Give me your overall thoughts.
Yeah, I tell you, he's not just a great player, but talking to him, I spoke to the rookie class, and I know his agent Lee Steinberg very well.
Yep.
He's a kid that gets it. He's always in the community. He gives back. He's not ducking anybody. He's out. He's out there. He's just having a good time and enjoying life. But he's a hell of a talent. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir, but he's a good guy. He's a good kid and good player.
And some are already saying they're going to put them right back to play for another Super Bowl this year. Are they being a little too excited? Or do you think in the AFC, another guy that people are talking about, Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, might be able to stop them this year?
Well, it's tough. It's tough to repeat. But right now, they look pretty good.
Yeah.
What's gonna hurt? I shouldn't say hurt. Well, what will help them now is that with this COVID thing going on and there's no practicing going on, that whole team is 98% intact. Not much change.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that have to be relearned. The other teams pretty much lost some key players where the Chiefs didn't.
Yeah.
So that right there gives them kind of the leg up.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think they're a team that, again, you just have to watch out for. But the AFC, I'm excited. It's the first time in a while that the New England Patriots are not the favorite because Tom Brady is now a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. And tell me, Mark, when you heard that news, when you heard that it was finalized, what was going through your head?
I really didn't care. No, I'm telling you. I mean, I'm like, so?
Who cares?
The man's 50 years old, basically.
But he's ancient.
He can still play.
Yep.
Now, will that make Tampa an automatic, Super Bowl contender? I don't know because they still got to play New Orleans.
Yeah.
Teams like that. So who's in the division? Carolina.
Yeah, it's not easy.
No, they got some tough teams. So I won't just anoint them the beast in the NFC South, but they are a better team. But I really didn't care.
Yeah, wasn't big. Even when Gronk went back, you didn't care much.
Now that shocked me. Have you seen him on TV? He lost a lot of weight, a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
So he's out 2 or 3 years, something like that. He lost a lot of muscle to put that back on, and to be competitive after 3 years out. That is tough. That shocked me more than Tom Brady, which I didn't care about.
Yeah.
But would he be the same player as he was when he left New England? Both of them, Brady and Gronkowski.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Not sure. Only time will tell. And you mentioned Drew Brees earlier. Some are saying that this might be his last hurrah. Who knows? Drew Brees is another one of those guys that I feel like continues to just ball out. But give me your thoughts on Drew Brees. I mean, if he does, let's say the Saints, if they don't make the Super Bowl this year, do you think we'll see Drew Brees return?
Oh, he's coming back. Well, I mean, what quarterback? Well, let me rephrase that because there was one quarterback I mentioned who didn't like it, Andrew Luck. But what quarterback would leave the league with the way the rules are now? I mean, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. I bet you Peyton Manning, if he wanted to, could come back and play. Eli Manning could play if he wanted to because the rule changes are different.
Yeah.
You can't really hit them. But if Drew Brees does not make the Super Bowl this year, he could play another 4 or 5 more years if he really wanted to. But sometimes when you had enough of the game, your body and your mind knows to tell you enough's enough.
Yeah. You got to listen to it, right? You have to listen to it because it might have repercussions in the long run.
Down the road,
I had to get your thoughts on that. And then really quick, I want to go back to Tom Brady because another name that some were saying would be nice if they paired up. But of course, this guy I'm about to mention had some off the field problems. Antonio Brown. Do you think we'll see him back in the NFL? And if we do you have a guess of where?
I first of all, I hope that kid gets help.
Mm-hmm.
He needs some help. And I'm not trying to be funny here. Something's going on with him that he needs some help. And that help could be a psychiatric or whatever. He needs help. So if anybody goes and tries to sign him, I hope they get that for him.
Right.
That's another guy. Josh Gordon's another guy who needs some help.
Yeah.
That great talent. And I hate seeing these players that get this opportunity and they get full of whatever and they blow it.
Mm.
This train doesn't come around too often. And once you got a chance to jump on it, stay on it, do whatever it takes that's within the confines of the law and the rules, stay on it. Don't get stupid and blow these opportunities. And these guys are doing it. And I hope that Antonio Brown gets another opportunity, as the same I feel with Josh Gordon.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you hate to see it, and especially here in Baltimore, having a cousin that plays on the Baltimore Ravens, and Hollywood Brown, that was just dynamic. And of course, we saw the workout video. We saw Lamar, we saw Antonio, and Hollywood, and Ravens fans. Some of them like, would be nice to get Lamar Jackson another weapon. But I think every team is scared. Obviously, Antonio Brown is talented, but do you want that baggage in your locker room, and you just don't know what's going to happen next? And I think most teams don't want it.
Well, if you got a strong locker room, yeah. I mean, you look what Belichick did up in New England, bringing in Randy Moss and other players up there who had the bad element. He kind of changed them a little bit. He brought Josh Gordon up there, and it just didn't work out. That's why I said about Josh, he needs help other than just putting money in your pocket. He needs help because, to me, the money that these guys make, Josh and AB, it doesn't change them. Money like that, it really shows what they're all about, what they've been about from the get-go. Money just fast tracks what you are. And these guys have shown that. And anybody who, with money, and you see how they are with money, well, they were that way without money. That's just at a slower pace.
Yeah.
But, so anyway.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. No, it's good feedback. And Mark, we have a question for you from the people because this show is all about incorporating our fans' thoughts. This question comes from G. Eddie Pattern, a fabulous photographer here in the DC area. He said, does RG3 have a chance in the league to be a starter again?
No, not as only if someone got hurt. Yes. If there's an injury, yeah, he'll start. But as far as, as an actual starter for 16 games into the playoffs, nah, it's over. I think that train's left the station, and now he should just sit back, hold the clipboard, get $7 million a year, and get 14, 15, 16 years in.
Yeah, not a bad gig. And I'll tell you though, being in DC, after seeing the explosiveness that RG3 had with the Redskins, I think people are wanting that back. But guess what? We're not going to get that back. He had an injury. It's kind of like Dwight Howard. Superman is over. I'm sorry. We're not going to ever get that back. I'm just being real. But with RG3, he did an interview recently, and I thought it was really interesting because he got asked a similar question. And he basically said, yes, I've embraced my backup role. And it makes sense, of course, to have him behind a Lamar Jackson. But at the same time, he said, why would I say I don't want to start again? Every quarterback wants that chance.
Yeah, you want the chance. I mean, once again, there's no way in Haiti he's going to go out there and compete and take the job away from Lamar. Okay?
Right.
We know this.
Right.
So you embrace your backup role, and then you go, okay, got my clipboard, got my $7 million, and then you look the whole landscape of the NFL. There is no, out of the other 31 teams in the National Football League, there's nowhere else he's better than a starter there. So
it
you
fits.
hold the clipboard, get your check, run the scout team, and that's it.
And it's not a bad thing, right? I mean, and you think about it, and who knows what the future holds. I honestly could even see RG3 maybe going into some broadcasting post-career. But I just think about the Ravens team he's on. What a good team to be on. A team that went 14-2 last season. A team that was a Derrick Henry away from possibly getting to the Super Bowl. I won't go into that. It was bad. It was bad. But the Ravens drafted to help fix some of those holes. But, I mean, what a good team to be on. I mean, it just fits.
Yeah, you would like to go to a team that has a chance to go to the Super Bowl, which he's there.
Right.
Can you imagine him being in Detroit?
Yeah, there you go. See?
So, he's in a great situation. His team they're good. They're a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Embrace the backup role, my friend. Embrace the backup role.
Yeah, it can never go wrong. And I want to say with quarterbacks, Pep Hamilton recently got hired as the quarterback coach for the Chargers. He's now just the second African-American quarterbacks coach in the NFL. I wasn't sure if you heard this news yet. It was pretty big news today, but I think it's pretty significant to discuss with you, Mark, because many are saying, of course, having a role like that, especially on the offensive side of the ball, can possibly lead, if you excel in it, to a possible future offensive coordinator role. And of course, from offensive coordinator role, possibly a head coach. If we talk about it, there's always conversation about minorities coaching in the NFL. Yeah. When you heard the news about Pep getting that next step up, especially after what we saw happen with the XFL, did you like that move by the Chargers?
Well, I think it was a good move. I just heard about it just now from you. I think it's a great move, and only the first black offensive coordinator or second black offensive coordinator that now it goes to a role as, again, a head coaching job. I think the whole process, I really can't say what I want to say.
Yeah.
But it's total BS, because my thing is, if you're a qualified coach, at first they tell a black coach, well, you got to be a coordinator. You got to be a defensive coordinator and then offensive coordinator, and then you get an opportunity to get a head coaching job.
Yeah.
But you see so many times that a white coach could go from a position and get a head coach job.
Yeah.
Now, the Giants just did that.
Mm-hmm.
So all the other stuff that they talk about, oh, you got to trust the process, is BS to me.
Yeah.
So don't tell me, well, this, you got to do this, whatever. No, hey, I mean, Eric Bieniemy, good friend, great person, OC at down in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Guy got 2 sniffs to get a job.
Yeah.
There was 4 or 5 jobs open. So, okay, well, so I'm trying to keep this clean.
Yeah.
But I just think there's a lot of hypocrisy out there regarding having a black offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. The next move is up to a job compared to a white coach who is a position coach.
Yeah.
And get many interviews, opportunities, and land jobs. So it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And I have to say, I appreciate you keeping it real, Mark. I know we weren't even going to talk about this, but I follow the conversation and I had to put it in there. But that leads me to ask you this next question really quick, because I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this. Do you think the NFL's Rooney Rule is enough to have more black coaches in the NFL?
I think a rule, it was good for a while, but there are ways that teams are skirting around it. So, and if you can skirt around the rules, then what's the use of having it?
Right. Right.
Because if someone's mindset is already set on who they want or what type of coach they want,
yeah,
whether it's black, white, Latin, Protestant, Catholic, Jew, or Gentile, that owner is going to get the person that owner wants.
Right.
So, there could be a few tweaks in the rule. Maybe that's a possibility, but it's better to have that than none. Not so.
Right. Something better than nothing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to take it. All right. Well, I had to ask you that. I forgot. I appreciate you keeping it real on that.
Sure.
But now I want to get into Mark Almonds Jr., who also, I guess he's following in his father's footsteps, also getting it done on the football field. I've been looking at the highlight tapes and reels. What a fabulous career he's having at the University of South Dakota. So this is the time where I get to let the dad chew on his own son. Talk about just how proud you are of his accomplishments, both on and off the football field.
Yeah, one of the best things, well, there's a few of them with kids, but as a dad, to watch your son, I have 2 sons. I'll talk about Mark Jr. first. To watch him grow from high school, as a player, and we'll just stick to athletics, as a player, and his thirst to learn the game as I taught it to him. Because I'm not that kind of dad, the know-it-all dad.
Yeah.
I waited for him to ask me questions, and then I laid it on him. But to watch him play and grow and learn the game and become a student of the game, and then watching him in college, it's fantastic. It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
He's better than me when I was in college.
Wow.
And I thought I was pretty good. He has all the talent in the world. He's football smart. He's technically smart on the field. He knows what he's looking at formation-wise. He can read receiver split, stance, all that stuff. He can play. He can play in the slot. He's not just a left corner or a right corner. He can play inside, which a lot of corners in the National Football League, even some of the best ones who played the games, like a Deion Sanders, Aeneas Williams, those guys couldn't play in the slot. It's a tough deal because we're used to having that sideline as our friend.
Right.
To play inside, it's a special guy to be a two-way player, and Mark has those abilities. And I hope next year he'll get an opportunity to make it to the next level.
Yeah, maybe for those Giants.
No, you know what? To be honest, any team, listen. As long as you get a shot in the National Football League, there's no allegiance about Giants or Chiefs or whatever.
Yeah.
Just anywhere. Just get your foot in the door and do what you got to do.
I'm just trying to make it easier so he can wear the old gear, the old jackets. But no, I think you would be such a proud pop to see that. Just seeing his highlight tapes. I mean, I'm just wondering though, to be a son of an NFL player like you, do you think he feels some of that pressure on his team?
You know what? This is funny you asked that, Kelsey, because this is my son's senior year.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of his teammates did not know that I was his dad, whose dad played pro football until pretty much his sophomore junior year, because that's something we don't even talk about. We just don't do it. Just do it. And the reason somebody found out, because even the coaches knew, but they never talked about it. One of his friends went home and found a football card that says Mark Collins on it. So he gets back to school. He goes, "Mark, man, your name is on the card." He goes, "Oh, that's my dad." He goes, "What?" So that's how a lot of people found out about it, and that's kind of cool. But so it's a blast driving up to South Dakota to watch him play.
Yeah.
And so I watched my son Marco play on Friday. He's a senior this year in high school. So I watched him play, and then drive up to South Dakota and watch Mark play. It's kind of cool.
How exciting is that? Does your high school, does he know where he's going yet?
Well, Marco is going to do the junior college route first.
Okay.
Unless somebody comes with a scholarship offer for
We're
him.
putting it out there.
Well, I'm trying. He has good grades. It'll get it done. But right now he's going to go to Coffeyville Junior College. Okay. And he's another defensive back who plays well. He's a corner. Nice. He's a good talent as well. Nice. Marco, he's 5'11", but he's weighing like 165, 170. He's got to get that weight up just a little bit more, but he's a good talent as well.
This is a good time to start eating and get the weight up, right? We're stuck inside. Yeah. It's what we're all doing, right? We're all trying to get past that, but that's so exciting. I know you're so proud of both of them. So we'll have to continue to watch further highlights. I'm telling you, when I saw online, actually, I'm gonna help you toot your own son because I pulled some of them up. I loved his 2018 stats. This is for Mark Collins Jr. Led the nation in passes defended per game, 14 passes in 7 games, and was the team's 7th leading tackler in 7 games he played with 27 stops. That was back in 2018. Just think about how much better he's gotten since then.
Oh, he could play. I don't want to be too braggadocious, but the boy can play, and he's a good student. Great boy, great son, great, just fun to be around. You know, it's just fun. We clown a lot. We have a good time. I'm a practical joker. Yeah, I like telling stories, and I put weird videos on my social media. Yeah, not weird, just funny stuff. We have a blast.
That's awesome. And I have to ask though, for your son in high school, his senior season, his senior year is it's different. I'm assuming he's graduating virtually now. Like what's going on with that? Is he handling it fine?
Well, everybody's got to do it, you know. Like Mark, my son Mark, his graduation is May 17th. Yeah. So that's canceled. So he's gonna get his diploma in the mail. Mm-hmm. And the same with Marco, it's gonna be the same thing. Now, I don't know how the virtual stuff is going to work with high school graduations. Yeah. But you know what? What can you do? I mean, it is what it is. Right.
Well, still, he's graduating, and that's what matters. That's what counts. And then you're a proud pop, right? So it doesn't get any better than that. All right. Well, I had to show love to the son. And now I want to talk about you and what you've done post your football career. 2-5 Sports, recruiting taken to the next level. I was so excited to see that you're doing this. So for those that don't know anything about it out there, describe what it is to us and why you started it.
Well, what we do is we help student athletes who are not getting heavily recruited. We give them the platform to get a sports scholarship, male or female sports. So, you know, there's a lot of people out there, recruiting services, that always go after the star athlete. Well, we don't do that. Right. We just give them the platform to build their resume up, and college coaches will look for them based on the criteria the college has set, GPA, sport, that kind of stuff. And my database will pull all those players up, and the college coaches will give them a look. And if they would like what they see, they'll reach out to the player.
Nice.
We also help the colleges without big recruiting budgets.
Nice.
So that's a way of them to go out and look at players around the league, around the country, and scout them. We've also added 3 months ago esports.
Nice.
Which is huge. I work with 5 colleges, and that's growing, that offer scholarships in esports. So we're not just doing the traditional sports, we're doing the non-traditional sports and esports.
Nice. So, that's exciting. And esports is the new frontier. I mean, everyone's trying to get into it. If you're not, you're behind the wheel.
Yeah, I know. And here's the deal. And the reason how I started my company, because I was one of those guys who wasn't heavily recruited.
Mm-hmm.
And being from Southern California, I wanted to go to USC, UCLA,
right,
Cal, Berkeley, but those schools, they didn't have any interest in me because they thought I wasn't a good player.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I just wanted an opportunity. So I like to think there's a lot of kids out there like me who just want that opportunity.
Yeah.
Male and female, just an opportunity to go to school, use your academics, use sports to further your education through academics. And that's what we provide. And that so far, we're doing some good stuff.
Yeah, no, I think that's fabulous. So if there's a player out there who's listening to this, Mark, and saying, hey, I need help in that field. I'm not getting the looks. Like, what would be the next steps like for them?
Just go to 25 Sports, create a profile.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get looks. I mean, as long as you're honest with yourself. I mean, if you're a backup, let's say on a women's basketball team, you're a backup point guard. Well, UConn is not going to be on your list. They're not going to come looking at you. But there are other schools out there who may want you to come to their schools. There are a lot of NAIA schools, Division II schools like that will want you to come to their school.
Yeah.
Your football player or any other athlete, hey, there's nothing wrong with getting extra looks.
Right.
To increase your chances of getting a scholarship.
It can't hurt. And I think what I really love this, just hearing from listening to what you're saying, is especially you can get a look at those schools that maybe you weren't considering. Maybe it is some of those D2 schools. Maybe it is some of those historically Black colleges and universities who will want you. So just, I mean, is that what it's kind of like? Like, 'cause I feel like you said, when you come out of high school, everybody wants to go to the big flashy colleges because that's what we see, right? Like, it's only right. That's what you want. I mean, I know when I applied to schools, I only applied to big universities because that's what I wanted to be around. But I think opening that door is huge. And then you just had me think about it. So the NFL, I know it got canceled because of COVID-19, but they were going to have the first HBCU Combine for those players to get looks. Your thoughts on that?
I think it's great. Because, see, this is what people don't understand about the historically Black colleges. I'm not going to go way back, but a lot of the players back, from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah.
Some of the top players are from historically Black colleges.
Right.
I could throw some names at you, and I'll throw a few. Everson Walls.
Yeah.
Jackie Slater.
Yeah.
Doug Williams.
Yes.
Mean Joe Green. These guys, they're from HBCUs.
Yeah.
So there's talent there, a lot of talent. So, everybody can't go to Notre Dame, USC, Stanford, or UCLA.
Yep.
There's some, Gramblings, Southerns, Cal State Fullertons, the schools like that.
Yeah.
There's some great athletes that, just give them an opportunity. They'll do wonders.
Yeah. And I think what you're saying is this very special message, especially to those players that might not have got drafted, that might not have been picked up in free agency. And as a former player that used to play, what advice would you give to those players sitting at home right now, just kind of wondering what their next steps should be?
Oh, gosh, it's tough because back in the days when the draft was 12 rounds.
Yeah.
You have like 400 players got drafted. 300 or 400 players got drafted in 12 rounds. Now it's like 255 and 7.
Yeah.
So after the 7 rounds, each team would bring in, I think the rosters could be 85 players, I think. It may have changed. So now they're going to bring in the undrafted free agents.
Yeah.
If you're not on that list, the invite list, and you're still waiting at home, it sounds crazy, but it's tough.
Wow.
It's like the window's closed. Unless, somebody that one of the undrafted free agents get hurt and they may call you last minute to come into camp.
Yeah.
It's just tough. It's a tough deal. So now these players who didn't get that call to be a undrafted free agent, now they got to think of Canada. Now that the XFL's closed down, that window's closed. Now Canada is next in line, which today is CFL's draft day.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, that opportunity comes up. But then now if they don't get drafted, then you're going to have to wait until next year. And hopefully, if you have an agent, they can somehow talk to a GM, or coach, or somebody to get you into the league that way.
Yeah.
It's just that's how the league works now. The doors close.
It's harder.
You got to live a lot harder. It's way hard.
Yeah. So. All right, Mark, for these last 10 minutes, we're going to have fun. We're going to go back to your playing days. Give me some of your most cherished favorite memories of you playing in the NFL.
You know what? I think let me start with this. What I miss about my 13 years in the National Football League, I miss the camaraderie. I miss the locker room. I missed playing jokes on people.
Give us an example joke.
Here's a good one. So in the Giants locker room, our carpet is Giants color, dark blue and red.
Yeah.
So what I would do, I'll get thread and I'll attach $100 bill attached to the thread, and I put it in the middle of the floor, and I'll hide behind like a stall in the locker room. So every time a player will walk by, I see him walk by because there's a mirror in the corner. I see who's walking by.
Yeah.
And they'll see the money down there, but they can't see the thread because it blends in with the carpet.
I know where this is going.
They reach down and try to pick up the $100 bill, and I snatch it, and they look around, and then try to snatch it again. I pull it, and I jump out. It's me. Now, I got Bill Parcells on that one. So Parcells is walking around the corner. I do the same thing. He walks and he sees it. He bends down to pick it up. I snatch it. He tries to look at it. He goes for it again. He sees me. He goes, "Oh, Collins, you son of a." But it's funny. It was just other stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just funny stuff.
Yeah, just some of those good memories.
Yeah, you got to do stuff like that because this is what people don't know about playing pro sports. I know we're talking football.
Yeah.
The stress is the stress there to being a professional athlete.
Yeah.
It's there. It's real. It is real. So you need to do stuff like that to break the monotony of the stress.
Yeah.
Because you're getting pulled from all angles.
Yeah.
Coaching staff, general manager, people want you to endorse a product. Then you got the competition inside the locker room. Then on top of that, you got family issues at home too.
Yeah.
A wife, girlfriend, kids, all this other stuff. Then you're dealing with cousins that you never knew you had who wants tickets. So all this stuff. So you need to kind of you got to do something funny to get your mind off of that.
Yeah.
But I missed that part of the game. So memories like that, and I miss that. And I still call the guys I played ball with. I called Lawrence Taylor 2 weeks ago. Talked to Carl Banks, Maurice Carthon, guys like that. Just to see how they're doing. Phil McConkey, just to see how you're doing, stuff like that. I miss that.
Yeah. And you kind of alluded to this earlier, and I'm sure you have this conversation with your friends, but it seems like you're saying the rules are too soft now, Mark. Do you wish some of the rules weren't like they are now, that they can go back to old days?
I would say this. Having a son playing football, I get it. And the game is safer now than when I played. Yeah. Now, I like it. I like that it's safer now. But if there was one rule that I wish that they would bring back, I wish we can bring back, two, hitting the quarterback, and bump and run, jamming receivers. I think those two rules, I think they'll make the game a bit more competitive. Yeah. So we will have to see, what we saw last year, Rams-Chiefs game, 55-58, whatever it was. That's like playing Madden 2020. That's nuts. Yeah. But but the league, they did want offenses to score, and they wanted they wanted the video game scoring. They got it because offense sell tickets. Yeah. And it does. Yeah. But but every now and then you want to just smack the hell out of somebody. I want to hit just one quarterback. Just get blasted. That's what I want. It won't happen.
Was there any quarterback that you just always wanted to go at?
No. My job, now you ask Lawrence Taylor and Carl Banks and Neil Smith, they'll say yeah, but my job was strictly to focus on the receivers. I just wanted to play against those guys and just do my job and slow those guys down. That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I want to touch on, because this is the biggest sports news, I guess, that we're all talking about. Everyone's watching, so I'm assuming you're watching it. The Last Dance. Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls. Have you had a chance to watch yet?
Oh yeah, I'm all caught up. And
so give me your thoughts. What are you thinking so far now that we're through 4 episodes and we have 2 more coming up this Sunday?
Well, I'll tell you what. Dennis Rodman is a friend of mine, and me and Dennis hung out at last year at this horse racing event in Santa Anita. But I was at the party when the Bulls won of the championships. I want to say it was 91, I think.
Okay.
So I went to Dennis's nightclub in Newport Beach called Josh Slocum's.
Yeah.
So I'm hanging out, and I ain't gonna tell everything, but we
won everything, Mark. We won everything.
No, and I told Dennis, I cannot drink like you. He called me a couple of names, which is fine, but I still have my beer. Mm-hmm. And then he gave me some tickets. This is like 97, 98 season, I do believe. So he goes, hey, I'm having a party in Vegas, and once you come down. So he had a Chicago Bull party at a hotel, and we had the best time. Now,
yeah,
I'm gonna leave it there. But woo,
you're leaving us hanging. A good time could mean so many things. So you're gonna leave the audience hanging, Mark.
I cannot. But Carmen Electra, she's a beautiful woman. She was
there.
And some of the other Bulls were there. I think we're at the Orleans Hotel. I think it was Orleans.
Nice.
And what a blast! It was great. And
wow.
I'm not a big heavy alcohol drinker. Now beer I could do.
Yeah.
But man, the shots that were going on, and anyway,
epic.
It was
that's fantastic.
so watching the Last Dance, it's pretty unique to see that they somebody had the foresight to record all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then to package it.
Yes.
And put it out there now. That's
phenomenal.
Genius.
Phenomenal. I mean, I'm hooked. I don't move for those hours. Nothing happens. I am glued to my TV set, and I'm watching and I'm live tweeting. And for someone that was born in 92, I love reliving just this greatness, because it's like, you hear about it and you had seen some clips, but to kind of see it all together and some of these stories coming out, like I think we were all shocked by how much Scottie Pippen was making at first. I think a lot of us were mad for Scottie, right? Even his ex-wife came out and was like, we were good. Don't let the doc fool you. And then you talked about Dennis Rodman. I think he's still one of those players that all of us are just always amazed by. And then Isaiah Thomas. I mean, that whole thing, we see what that turned into now. I'm curious. Do you think we'll ever see MJ and Isaiah Thomas squash that beef?
No, because Isaiah won't let it go.
Yeah.
No, Isaiah won't let it go. You see Bill Laimbeer came on TV and said he don't even care. But Isaiah, Isaiah first he blamed. Immediately in episode was that 3 or 4.
Yeah,
he immediately blamed Laimbeer. Bill said it. Okay, cool. We know Bill said it.
Yeah.
But would you do it again? So Isaiah basically going, well, we did this, whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
So Michael goes, man, and Michael's right. It's sportsmanship. Yeah. Because Michael Jordan, every time Detroit beat the hell out of the Bulls, MJ always shook their hands.
Right.
That's sportsmanship.
Right.
But that just showed me about Isaiah. Isaiah is not really a true sportsman.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't show him in the best light, right?
No,
like it didn't. No. And Jordan still to this day looks like he holds on to that. Not forget it.
MJ ain't gonna let it go. He's gonna let it go, and neither is Isaiah. But and that's cool. As long as they respect each other to a point, it is what it is.
Yeah. It was just overall just phenomenal. I mean, I think ESPN's so smart. Their ratings continue to go up each and every week. We're all watching along. I think some of us wish they could have just dropped all the episodes. But before I let you go, I got to ask you this very important question, Mark, because it's one that we're going to, I think, have till the end of time. Who is the GOAT? Is it LeBron or is it MJ?
Oh, gosh. That they're all good. That's tough, man, because they're 2 different eras.
Yeah.
You can't say one's better than the other. they all dominated the area they're in.
Yeah.
You know, you look at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you look at Bill Russell, great players. You can't say Bill Russell's better than MJ or whatever.
Yeah.
With rule changes and errors, man, my thing is this: all of them were great.
Yeah.
Same in football. They're all great to me. It's
no favorite football defenses, Mark, at all. No football. No football defense was the greatest of all time for you.
No, it's all subjective because you know, it's I played those two great defenses with the Giants.
Yeah.
You know, everybody talk about the '85 Bears. People forget about the '74 Dolphins.
Yeah.
It's all subjective. It is what it is. And certain errors, we did what we did. We did it great for that year or two.
Yeah.
But overall, man, but see, that's something for the fans to talk about. That's not like, fans, they get off on that stuff. I don't really get off into that much.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to ask you, and I appreciate you keeping it candid. But Mark, thank you so much for being a phenomenal guest. And before I let you go, can you please one more time let people know where they can find out more about 25 Sports and follow you on social media?
Well, follow me on social media. I'm at the number 2 FIVE Sports. That's 25 Sports. I'm on Instagram, Twitter. I think I'm maxed out on Facebook, but I don't do Snapchat, none of that stuff. That's for my kids. I don't do it. But anyway.
No TikTok?
No. When I make my videos, I do it on my phone and I upload it.
Yeah.
I like controlling my own data. So
Smart.
I do that. But anyway, in 25 Sports, go look at 25sports.com. We will help you get a sports scholarship. We give you the branding that you need and the platform.
So wonderful. Keep up all of the great work. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. Next time we have you, though, you got to bring the rings, Mark. I'm going to make it a requirement.
I will.
You got to bring the rings.
I have to get them real quick, but they're locked up.
I'm like, we wanted to see that. Not everybody gets to see it. But thanks again so much for joining me. I truly appreciate your time.
Kelsey, anytime. Thanks.
Thanks so much. Have a great one.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of Listen In with KNN. I am going to have a very special episode dropping this Saturday at 2 p.m. with Inez Cantor of the Boston Celtics. Again, 2 p.m. this Saturday. You will not want to miss it. And then join us back next week on Thursday at 6 p.m. Until next time, continue to listen. Check out the show. We also have audio versions online at Fox Sports Radio, 1340am.com, and 96.9 FM. You can also listen to the show. Podcasts also available on iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify. Again, just search Listen In with KNN. I have to thank everyone that's a part of my team. And again, until next week, I will see you all. Thanks so much for listening and tuning in.